Title: The Haunted Frequencies. On the outskirts of a sleepy town known for its rich history, a small radio station called WZRD had long stood abandoned. The locals whispered tales of its past glory, once a vibrant source of music and news. But after a mysterious incident involving its last broadcaster, the station fell silent. Curiosity often tugged at the hearts of daring teenagers in town, especially those at Ridgewood High, where stories of ghostly voices and unearthed secrets inspired countless dares. One dreary afternoon, a group of 4 friends, Eli, Max, Jess, and Lila, decided to explore WZRD for themselves. Armed with flashlights, a portable recorder, and a healthy dose of teenage bravado, they navigated the thorny path that led to the crumbling building draped in dark overgrowth. The fading sign hung askew, its letters cracked and rusted, whispering tales of the station's better days. "Are we really doing this?" Lila asked, clutching her backpack tightly. Her heart raced with excitement and fear, but the story of the unaired audio tapes, rumored to hold the haunting voice of the last broadcaster, held her captive. "Just think of the internet clout. Ghostly radio broadcast of the week," Max teased, playfully nudging her as they reached the dilapidated entrance. They pushed the door open, revealing a room cloaked in shadows. Dust motes floated in the faded shards of light, and the smell of mildew invaded their senses. Old, dusty equipment lay scattered around them. Ripping sounds accompanied the steps on the cracked tiles, echoing the eerie whispers of the past. "Let's set up here," Jess said, placing the recorder on an old table in what seemed to be the main studio. The group gathered around, excitement bubbling under their skin. Eli flipped the switch, and the recorder whirred to life. "All right, let's see if we'll capture anything tonight," he said, a shaky grin creeping across his face. "Who wants to go first?" Lila volunteered, eager yet unnerved. She began recounting the haunted tales she'd heard around town, the eerie voices that seemed to emanate from the radio, the bizarre static-filled frequencies that led unsuspecting listeners into a trance. They laughed nervously, and with every word she spoke, the shadows seemed to deepen. "Is anyone here?" Lila asked, her voice firm, though the tremor was evident. "We mean you no harm, we just want to know your story." The air thickened, the atmosphere swirling with an unseen tension. They waited, breath held, but all they heard was the sound of their own hearts beating. After several minutes of talking to the silence, Jess tried a different approach. "Let's just play some of the old tapes buried under the desk. Who knows, maybe we'll catch something." They scrounged through half-broken boxes, unearthing ancient, dust-coated tape reels. With hopeful excitement tinged with dread, they placed one on the recorder and pressed play. The mechanical whirring pierced through the stillness as static crackled ominously. Their attention locked onto the device, their nerves jolted with every crack and pop that filled the air. Suddenly, the static cleared, and a deep, distorted voice emerged. "Help me?" Goosebumps erupted along Lila's arms as her breath quickened. "Did you hear that?" she whispered, glancing at the others. The voice continued, a haunting repetition, fading in and out. "Help me." Eli seized the recorder, his pulse racing. "Let's record this. We could use it for..." Before he could finish, the lights above flickered erratically, and the temperature plummeted. The group huddled closer together, realization dawning upon them that they were not alone. "Keep recording," Max urged, but his voice trembled. The static surged once more, and then the floor creaked like a giant sigh. Voices filled the room, thousands of whispers, overlapping like an eerie chorus of despair. "Help us, listen, trapped, lost." Panic set in. Lila shouted over the cacophony, "We need to leave." But before they could react, the tape began to rewind on its own, a whispering frenzy reaching a fever pitch. The voices grew louder, pleading, accusing, something more sinister lurking beneath the surface. And then, amid the chaos, one voice broke through the din, recognizable and chilling. "I am, still, here." With a scream, Jess yanked the recorder from Eli's hands and flung it into the darkness. It shattered, the plastic shards gleaming like teeth amongst the dust. Everything fell silent. No whispers, no eerie echoes. Just the sound of their ragged breathing. "Let's get out." Eli's voice was sharp, and they scrambled to the entrance, skirting the chilling air that felt heavy with unseen eyes watching them. As they burst into the fading light of the evening, the sound of the last desperate cry echoed in their minds. "Help me, please." Standing at a distance, they turned back, one last glance at the station. For an eternity seemed to stretch before them. The window of the old studio flickered with dim light. A shadowy figure appeared, desperate and mournful. Then, it vanished. The four friends sprinted home, hearts racing, an unspoken bond forming between them, etched by fear and the haunting truth they had uncovered. The following days, however, their world spiraled into darkness. Little things changed. Unexplained noise, shadows in hallways, each echo of the past tugging at the edges of their sanity. Those familiar with the radio station's unsettling history now whispered a new tale. Four brave souls who disturbed the silence of WZRD and found the true meaning of being haunted by the frequencies not meant for the living. And somewhere in that eerie silence, a voice still called out, longing for help, trapped in the ghostly remnants of the unaired audio tapes.